Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Fernand, for giving me the floor and sharing with you some experience. My only conflict is to have been a member of several bodies within this agency since 15 years, probably. So I don't know if it's conflict or bias, but nonetheless, I'm going to be a little provocative to feed this discussion. Moving to the next slide here. And when making kind of a review for myself of this, I found out that probably the idea was that the closer we are to the decision in the process, the far we are probably from the conflict. And why is it so? I'm trying to illustrate this when having a systematic review. We are already at the next slide here. Yeah, that's the first slide. Since the system is built on a bottom-up scientific construct, when you have an idea, and as Mr. Glover said, you want to give it value to it and have an impact, you will, in the drug development, having a product, you will have a conceptor, researcher, and that's why you have a look whether or not there is a public health need, in other words, a market for it, and there is already at that point in time some financial consideration. But that's also the time when you engage with the regulators. You have a trial, you have investigators, you will probably have to go to the national competent authorities who have approval of your trial or have some idea from the scientific advice. Industry will call upon the expertise of the real experts, whether or not you want to go for a pediatric investigation plan or to get an awful designation. Moving further in the process, you will have a file that will be submitted in the hands of a rapporteur being part of a national competent authority, whereas the regulators at the end, at the opinion time, is it the CHMP, nowadays the Prague, will make an opinion. At last but not least, but with all the respect for the final decision maker being in this system here, the centralized system, nonetheless the politicians, you will see that the far you go in the decision process, in fact, the far you are from the scientific part of it. Indeed, is that reassuring? Is that the frustration of the scientists, or is that kind of a schizophrenia in the system? You can, of course, discuss about it, but because as soon as you are confronted with a difficulty, then you have back again a top-down approach. If the Commission has a difficulty, they will call the pharmaceutical committee. If it's the here back again the agency, they will convene back their CHMP or the Prague. Have the CHMP a difficulty, of course they will rely on their working parties, on their SACs, as we just heard about. For instance, has the PDCO a question, an open question they are not comfortable with, they will go to their formulation group, non-clinical group, and so on. So you see, and last but not least, when we are issuing guidance, this is open for external, I would say, commenting. So you have all the parties, all the partners involved in it. So my point is that, back again, we move from a, bottom-up, top-down, and at the final stage, back again to the bottom-up decision, since we have the rapporteur from the national competent authority with his team and the experts. We have the final opinion from the body, the committee, the, I would say, handling of the opinion by the agency that's forwarded to the Commission. So my question rather is, aren't we confronted here with some kind of Peter principle, where we have a dissociation between, on one hand, those making or having the expertise and delivering an opinion, and those making a final decision, but not probably, with all the respect, as I said, having the competence in the system. So ending up, is that reassuring, or is that the frustration of the scientists only, and the price to pay to have some kind of a consideration and credibility from the citizens of Europe? That's an open question I wanted, to share with you. Thank you.